This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, so let's just start about the Unix operating system. So as we know, the basic functionality of the operating system is to translate human language to the machine language. So as we know, the machine computer is considered as a machine. So human and machine, they're definitely two different identities, so that they need to communicate each other. So operating system acts as an interface between user and machine. So everybody, I hope we know about it. So if you try to make it little technical, the explanation, so we know that computer understand only the digital signal, that means 0 and 1. So now when we human type anything from our keyboards or try to communicate with the computer, definitely there's somebody as the middleman who convert the human language to the machine understandable language, and that exactly operating system does. So operating system is the interface between user and machine. So this is number one. Number two, operating system also control all the hardware and all the application running on that computer. So when I say hardware, what does it mean? Can everybody mute yourself? Please make sure that you are muted. Okay. Otherwise, it will make noise. So, operating system, as it controls the hardware, and the hardware means all the like a CPU, memory, hard drive, network card. So all the hardware that makes the computer, these are controlled by the operating system. So one of the major component of the computer is the CPU, central processing unit. We call it is the brain of the computer. It is controlled by the um, like it control all the hardware like a memory, CPU, and other components by this CPU. And the CPU is controlled by the operating system. So when we say computer, do this for me, operating system actually take this command to the CPU, and then CPU um, execute this command for us. The CPU is the central processing unit, sometimes we call processor. And if you look at your own laptop, you'll see that there are multiple core in the CPU, like a 4-core. 4-core means there are 4 brain on the computer, so that it can be compute the multi-processing part. So that means it can handle right now 4 requests at the same time. If it is a 4 CPU, if you have 8-core CPU, that means it can handle 8 requests at the same time. So this request in the computer terminology we call thread, right? That it can execute 8 thread at the same time if I have a 8-core CPU. That means it is a kind of a parallelism that computer now, before computer does one task at a time. So he say, okay, do first work, then second work, then third work. But now computer, everything become parallelism. That means run everything together in parallel, right? So that is the beauty of and day by day, this technology improve a lot. So now our expectation that computer can do everything very quickly. Computer already done everything quickly. That's why the other name of computer we call microcomputer. Micro means what? That means 10 to the power minus 6. That means it can done everything so quickly. If you divide it 1 second divided by 1 and 10, 60, computer is capable to do any kind of activities in such a time. So it is in 1 second in computer point of view is very late, is very long time. But if I say, okay, something he complete in 1 second is not a good thing, because computer is designed to do anything, any calculation in a microsecond point. And then, so now to achieve our goal, like a more like a advanced, more parallelism, the not only like a CPU in other component also within the computer getting parallel. So now you guys might heard that the supercomputer. What does it mean? Supercomputer is nothing. It is just mean it has this. It is a special computer. It has the capability to run, to calculate millions of requests at the same time. So basically, computer is a mathematical calculator. That's it. You give him input, it calculate that input, then it provide you the output. So it has actually nothing else rather than a calculator. Right? So a simple English. What is a computer? Computer is a calculator, nothing else. We give him the input, it calculate that input, provide us the output. Right? So now to do this calculation, that somebody is governing him, and that somebody is operating system. So over the last 15 years, there are so many technology advancement is going on, and one of the area that we must need to focus on, and that is called cloud computing. In 20 years back, any organization, they build their environment to the server, to the physical server. But now in 2021 and like even further, you will see computing technology will be going more about the cloud computing. So summary is this: today, any big organization in the world, they are if they have, let's say they have 500 server, 500 computers, you can say that probably all 500 is now virtual machine, and this virtual machine, it is actually sitting down in the cloud platform. So this is a like a kind of a big migration happened over the last 5 years. The companies who does not migrate their infrastructure to the cloud yet, they are in the process. So that means let's say 80% already done, 20% maybe not done yet, but they are in the pipeline. They are in the process to migrating their infrastructure to the cloud. So whenever we say infrastructure, what does it mean? It means that a application running on something. So the application needs a computer to run that application. An application has definitely different component, different layer of that, and all component running on the top of a server. And those server is no more in physical anymore. It is so number one, it is virtual, and number two, it is migrated to the cloud. So this is one of the great migration happened since last especially last 5 years. And then now, as I said, like probably 80% is already completed and 20% in the progress. So when you join a company, regardless of your any IT related work that you do, you can easily think about that the infrastructure that you are doing. You might be a tester, you might be a network administrator, you might be a database administrator, whatever it is. The project that you are involved, most of the project actually running on the top of cloud platform. So when I say cloud, it is actually basically different cloud provider is there. So nowadays the big player is Amazon, and another second big player is the Microsoft. So Amazon and Microsoft, they are actually holding the maximum share on this cloud business. Amazon, I think, almost 35%, and Microsoft is around 18-20%. And after the COVID, last 2 years, COVID happened, and COVID is telling you one very important picture to everybody. That is, everything is going to be remote, right? So if I have people are working from home, people don't need to go to work anymore. Universities class is taking remotely. So remote idea is getting now more popular, and it will be a permanent solution now, right? So you see that the technology movement. So now what is the beauty of cloud? If you put your infrastructure in the cloud, then you don't need to have any other headache, because your employees don't need to let's say you hire a network guy to build the server, to build the something. That kind of headache is no more, because it is now managed by the cloud. And second very important thing happened since last few years. What is that? That is that the software development side, like when any company have a project to develop a software, those software development point of view, it is no more like a regular SDLC method. SDLC means software development lifecycle. It is more about a new concept called DevOps. So dev means development, ops means operation. So development and operation now combined. So before development is one team, operation is another team, right? And development and operation completely two segmented team, and they don't. Some in many cases they do not align each other, and they do not. You know, there are so many delays happen because of this alignment. And now, as it is a competitive market, so everybody wants to send their product as early as possible. So if I build a product, definitely the requirement to send that product to the production as early as possible. So now somebody is still making noise. Hey, who are making noise? We will not allow you to come to the class. Please mute yourself. Okay. So now the thing is that development and production, as these are two different things, and now people expectation to put everything to the production as early as possible, as many times as needed, right? So this why it is a competitive market, right? If I have a work in a bank, another bank, let's say they put something in the production, so this bank will not sitting idle. They say, okay, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. So that's why it is a very competitive market. And because of, so everybody wants to put everything in production as many times as needed. And that's the beauty of the DevOps. So DevOps come forward and say, okay, whatever needed to productionize anything, any matters, if we automate everything, this is called DevOps. So normally in the software development point of view, that there are three items here. One item, developer write the code, and then after the code writing the build, there is something we call build, and that build process is now automated. Then after the build, then we have to deploy somewhere that code. After, so that is also, that process also automated. Before it was manual. So any manual thing takes time, maybe 2 days, maybe 5 days, 10 days. Now as it is automated, just push a button, it is done. And then third step, to do the testing. Without testing, nothing will go to production. And testing is the most time consuming work in any matters, right? So that now before people do the testing manually, now it is become automated. So basically DevOps means automation of build process, automation of deployment process, and automation of the testing process. So now, so number one, everything is migrated to the cloud. Number two, all the software development process or project now integrated with the DevOps model. So normally we are very confused sometimes. What is DevOps actually? DevOps is not a software or any hardware. It is actually a concept, a terminology, a kind of a framework that every organization, every project now adopting this framework. That means I want to deploy something to production as early as possible, as automated as possible. Nothing is manual anymore. That means in the software point of view, that whenever developer writes something, they upload the code. That's it. After that, whatever the steps is required, all the steps now is now automated, and that is called DevOps. So that's why people like us who are working in IT industry for a long time, right? Whatever the technology that we have learned so far, those technology or those knowledge or those skills now going to be obsolete, right? So now, as it is going to be obsolete, it is our mandatory thing now. It is that we need to develop our skills, our knowledge, and our like education. So that's why Unix come into picture here. So now the cloud and DevOps. So you can see this summary of what I just explained last 5 minutes, that everything now is migrated to the cloud, number one. And number two, everything is now integrated in the DevOps model. So now in both scenarios, the all the activities that we are doing in the background, like IT type of work, right? All the activities, all the tasks is based on Unix. So that's why Unix is, sometimes we say, oh, Unix is a very old technology. We are not in, actually it is not. So all the activities that we will be doing in going forward is all are based on Unix. So that's why I thought to share this knowledge with you guys so that it will help you to build your career, to develop your knowledge and skills. So hope you got the background why we are um, focusing this program. So let's jump into this. So Unix, as I mentioned, this is an operating system, and it is a very old operating system. That's for sure, and it is actually introduced in 1960, around 1960, and then it is much older than Windows operating system. Windows operating system, we see that around 1980. So at least 10, 15 years back, Unix introduced in the universities and the lab. And then since then, it has multiple flavor, multiple version, etc. But summary is that it is an operating system that as you can see here, operating system is the interface between user and machine. Operating system translate human language into machine understandable language, right? So OS acts like a manager. It manages all the available resources on a computer, from the CPU to memory to hard disk access, and as well as all the application that running on the top of the operating system. That means it controls both hardware as well as all the application running on that operating system, on that particular machine, right? So basically, it controls the hardware, run the application, manage the data and files, and of course, security. Nowadays, as security is one of the major factor, it controls all the security through by this operating system. So it's not only Unix; it is a general definition of operating system. So basically, in our real world, we can see the three major operating system. One from Microsoft family, all Microsoft operating system like Windows 10, Windows 2019 server, etc. And then from the Unix family, we can see so many flavor of Unix, like a Red Hat, Ubuntu, IBM, and Oracle, etc. And also Mac. You know that you guys, a lot of people are using Mac computer. So Mac also, Apple introduced their own operating system. So that means without operating system, nothing will work. Even if you have a cell phone, do you have a cell phone? Yes. What type of cell phone it is? If it is either Apple, so if it is Apple, then Apple operating system is there, like iPhone, right? If it is Android, then Google created that operating system, or Samsung created those operating system, right? So that means without operating system, no machine will work. If you go to the like a cash register machine, it is a kind of a computer. It also has an operating system. If you go to when you drive a car, your car also kind of a computer, and it has an operating system. So that means without operating system, no machine will work. Doesn't matter what that type of machine. Every machine must have a operating system. It can be in terms of the network. Let's say we talk about router, about the firewall, about the switches. Everything has an operating system. So that means it is a special type of software. Of course, it is a software, but it controls those hardware. And on the top of that, whatever running application, other application, it control everything. So it is like a manager. It manage all the resources, and resource can be hardware, resource can be the application, correct? So now, if you look at the architecture of the Unix, that basically there are three, four component. On one of the component we call kernel. So kernel is the it is the files that manage the hardware. We just talked that it manages the hardware. So kernel, in the next diagram, you see that there is a, if you draw this diagram, so let's say the inside circle, it is a hardware. So all the files that Unix created that control this hardware, those files sitting down in a special layer called kernel. So this is a kernel where all the files that control the hardware. And on the top of kernel, you see there are, like we can see, so many files here. These are all Unix command. These guys actually control like a GUI. So this GUI, like a we user, in talk to this GUI. So user, when we log into the Unix system, we actually log into the graphical user interface or command line interface to talk to the Unix system, right? So there are two layers. One layer is that control the hardware, and that layer is called kernel. So whenever you read my lecture or any books, you say, hey, it is a kernel layer. So that you understand that kernel is a special layer of the operating system where it keeps the files or program that control the hardware, CPU, memory, etc. And then on the top of kernel, there is also another lot of programs or a lot of commands. Those command is designed to talk to communicate between user and the machine. And then on the top of that, we also install our application. Our application can be Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, or FTP, or mail system, or whatever. There are millions of applications. So these are running on the top of the operating system. So basically, there are kernel, shell, and the application. There are three different layer of the operating system. Okay, so it is not only Unix. Actually, it is Windows also same thing. They have a kernel, they have a shell, and they have a program. Okay. So now the flavor of it, there are two type of Unix operating system. One is open source and one is the proprietary. Open source means it is, there is no licensing cost here. You can easily go there and download those software and install those. So like a Red Hat, Debian, you see the Ubuntu, etc. So nowadays Ubuntu and Red Hat is very popular. So this is the flavor of Unix, and it is open source. Whereas there is a proprietary, that means it is owned by some company, and if you want to install on your machine, you have to buy the license, and that is a Solaris. So Solaris, as you know, this is Oracle proprietary here, and then AIX from IBM. So IBM version of Unix called AIX, and Oracle version of Unix called Solaris. So in the real world, if let's say if they are using Unix, mostly these are either Solaris or AIX or Red Hat or Ubuntu, right? So these are the different flavor of Unix. It is not owned by one company. Like Windows technology, you see that all the license and everything is owned by Microsoft, right? So you cannot do anything. But on the other hand, open source is, let's say if I buy I hire, let's say 10 developers, and I say, okay, I want to custom my operating system. As the source code is open, so that my developers can customize this Unix system and build a new type of operating system. Like a lot of company does this thing, like Pentagon as an example. So all the Pentagon machine, they are running their own version of Unix because of this is a secure thing, right? So nobody knows what is that, because what they have done, they hired the developers, they download some open source and they customize it. But Microsoft, you cannot customize it because Microsoft will not share the source code of that operating system. Nobody knows how Windows 10 is built. You can see only output. It's okay, you need Windows 10, here you go. Give me money, I'll give you. But how I design, what is the code, nobody knows, right? But Unix has a flexibility here, especially the open source. You can download and you can customize it on your own. So that is the difference between Unix and Microsoft. So now, once we install Unix on a system, it comes with multiple tools and utilities. So there is always a conception that what is actually utilities? Utility is actually nothing. It is a small program built in within the operating system. in your Windows, if you use the Windows, you see there are so many utilities Microsoft created for you. So many. So these are the special small piece of software program does a special something. So for example, if you go to the Windows operating system, if you type, let's say, MS Info 32, you see that this is a program Microsoft created for you called System Information. So system information is in utilities. It is there. So when you open these utilities, you can see all the activities here, right? What this program does. So they create a small, in other words, you can see it is a kind of a command, right? This command but in the background, they create a program for you. And when you just say, okay, we already designed the program for you, you just call him. And how to call it, you need to know the commands. So those are called utilities. So utilities is a special type of program that is built in within the operating system. So Unix also has a lot of built-in program with them. So one of the things is the text editors. They have a lot of text editor like a Y, Pico, Emacs, Xmax. There are so many other things as well, but one of the things is called Y editor. So that means it is a special editor that you can type something. In Windows, let's say you type notepad, right? You type something notepad, but Unix is not that thing. It is a special. We'll talk a little bit later on that. Then it is at the one of the special thing of Unix, and that is I must need to discuss with you, that Unix is not only operating system, it is also a programming language. Unix actually based on the C language, the C programming language. So if I have a Unix, I can also, if I have a developer, they can also write the program using C language. So that means Unix not only operating system, but also a programming language. And that is one of the beauty of Unix, that in old days, people create like a lot of program based on Unix, because it is in the background, Unix based on the C language. So it doesn't matter which flavor of Unix that we talked earlier, that there is Solaris, AIX, Red Hat, whatever it is, but everybody's background actually C language. Everything is based on the C. And then on the top of that, if you want, you can install other program as well. Like basically, you can install Java program, you can install Perl program, Python program, and all kind of program is there. So it has a lot of utilities built in within this program. Like as you can see in this screen, it has multiple editors, compilers, debuggers, interpreters, and miscellaneous item like a browser. It has a browser. It has email system. It has like a lot of other activity that what we normally do using Windows, right? So as it is Windows, Unix also has those type of functionality as well. But now, one of the things that when we learn Unix, we always, everybody have, like it is like always we have a challenge here. First of all, most of us, we never use Unix before, because when we learn computer, we have Windows machine and we learn Windows technology. But what about Unix? Because now I just mentioned the real world, the DevOps and the cloud is all based on Unix, but we are familiar with Windows. So that means if I want to sustain in this industry, if I want to get a job in this industry, or even though if I have a job, but I want to maintain this job, I have no choice to develop my knowledge and skills, correct? So now, one of the specialty of Unix is this, that it is still the command line type of thing. Like a command line means it has graphics, like a graphical window for sure, but in a practical way, we normally do not use that graph. People still run the program like a command. So when I say command, that means it has a grammar here. So the first grammar, the Unix command will be lowercase. Unix is a case sensitive operating system, meaning is that you have to type all commands in Unix in a lowercase. Everything has to be lowercase, and that's the beauty, like one of the important item that everybody will need to memorize. Okay, all commands, everything has to be. So Unix is a command based or CI, like it is a, we call like a CLI, command line interface. That means everything command based, and it has to be lowercase. So in Microsoft has a command interface? Answer is yes. Microsoft also has a command interface, and that is called what we call DOS. So if you type CMD on your command, you see the DOS window comes, right? So this is the DOS window. And in this DOS window, if you type the command, let's say uppercase, let's say I create a folder called MD lab1. Look, I put MD, both are uppercase, right? M is capital, D is capital. If I type, let's say, if I type MD, so let's say M is capital, D is lowercase, then let's say lab1. So you see that no problem. So if I type both are lowercase, that also no problem. So that means DOS is not a case sensitive operating system, but Unix is a case. Everything has to be lowercase. Okay, so this and as it is a command based, so many command based on the keyboard. An interesting part when I teach like our class here, and like we know that you guys know that we teach DevOps, software testing, automation. We also teach cyber security and other like a data analytics program. All those programs are based on Unix, and in that case, we always struggle to teach people the Unix operating system and the keyboards. So you see that this is the keyboard. It is really interesting. You might be laughing that, hey, what you are doing, we will know our keyboards, but actually not. Many of you probably don't know 100% your keyboard. So that's why I took this screenshot here, because as Unix is a command line and command, so you have to type everything from your keyboard, right? So first of all, if you really want to learn Unix very well, you have to be very good on your keyboard. You have to know all your keys. So here is not only like we know that 1 to 10 is there, we know that A to Z is here, but what about the special character? You see there are so many characters here. The F1 to F12, this is we call function. Each of F1, F2, F2, these has a specific function, right? Then you can see on the left side there is called escape key. It is used in Unix a lot. We're using the tab key. We're using the different type of percentage sign, right? Like you see the special character, strict mark, pound sign, or hash key, dollar sign, percentage. Those type of keys we are using a lot, right? But on the top of that, we're also using some other keys as well. In our next slide, I think here it will show you. Look here. So this you see that tilde, the left on the top of tab button, there are two keys here. One is called tilde, one is called backquote. In Unix, we use a lot in this thing. When I take the lecture, I say, okay, press the tilde. People say, what is tilde? I have never heard about it, right? So this is the tilde. Sometimes we call tilde or tilde, whatever pronunciation. And then backquote. Look, we know the single quote. You see the single quote. We know the double quote, right? You see that this guy, single quote and the double quote. But there is something called backquote. In Unix, many places we use backquote as well. So there are three type of quotes: single quote, double quote, and the backquote, right? Then you can see that there are three type of bracket here. One, in our mathematical terminology, we call first bracket, second bracket, third bracket, right? But in computer point of view, we call the first bracket called parenthesis. You see 9 and 0 here, right? Parenthesis, this. And then second bracket is called curly bracket, like a curly bracket. And the third bracket, right? Then another interesting key is here on the top of enter button. You see that this is the vertical line. It is called piping. So this is used a lot in Unix command, like a piping command, right? So now you guys familiar that, okay, this is the tilde, this is the explanation sign, at sign, like a hat sign, dollar sign, percentage sign, right? You see that this is the caret, and then what is called ampersand sign, right? Those type of sign, and then three type of parentheses here. A parenthesis, like a parenthesis, then curly bracket, third bracket, and then we are using the three type of quote. single quote, double quote, and the back quote. And then there is a filtering or piping here. You see that just on the top of enter button. And then there is a two type of slash. One is called forward slash, one is called backward slash. So many times I could put the forward, people are struggling. What is that? So now this keyboard, I highly recommend everybody focus on this thing. It is very simple. You just maybe just 2 minutes time you spend. That's it. So now you know that I know my keyboard very well, right? That there is a plus sign, minus sign, then underscore sign, equal sign. All the special characters are here. So more you know your keyboard, it is better for you. Okay. And so you see that here also there we make it, there is a screenshot called tilde. So in Unix, tilde we use a lot. So this is the like a special character. So tilde indicates home directory. When I say, okay, when you press tilde on your keyboard, it will bring you to the home directory, wherever the home directory you are. So now you can say, what does it mean? What is the meaning of home directory? What does it mean? So home directory means, let's say when you log into your Windows system, right? It creates a profile for you. So let's say in your home, you have your children or your somebody at your family member, you create a user account. When that user log in, automatically that account will create a home directory for you. Okay, so now where it is? It is actually, if you go to the C drive, this is your C drive, and you see there is a folder called users. So users, where it is? Here you go. So under users, and when you log in this user, so that's in my case, I log in this computer as a user, and this is my home directory. So now when you log in, you'll see that if you come to Windows system, see users, and let's say I log in as Mike, then there will be folder called Mike. If I log in as John, there will be folder called John. So this is my home directory. So when I open computer, let's say CMD, it normally comes to my home directory. Okay. And that home directory, like normally it is like this, C:/user/user. So this is my home directory. Most of the, when you in your computer, you'll see that it will bring you to here. Okay. So in Unix also same thing. It is home directory. So when you press tilde, it will bring you to that location. A strict or a start wildcard matches any. If I put anything wildcard, that means everything on this. If I say start, that means everything in that location. So how to tell everything or anything wildcard? This is another called terminology we call wildcard. That means match anything in that location. Okay. Then sometimes we use the question mark. It is also kind of a wildcard, but any on the character. That means if I put a star mark, like a question mark, that in that location, if let's say there is a word called Nizam. So if I say just type n question mark, that if find out anything match with n. Okay, so these are the like a key we use a lot in the Unix system. Then explanation sign, then ampersand sign, then you see the hash sign, and of course you see the single quote, double quote, and the back quote, right? And back quote we use an underscore. Okay, so underscore we use instead of a space we use underscore in Unix system. So now that means you understand that these are the special key that in Unix system we use to do our day-to-day activities using the Unix operating system. Okay, so now you know that what is those characters. It is all. If you look at your keyboard right now, you can see all those keys are there. Okay. So now what we discussed, that Unix is a case-sensitive operating system, and it is all the commands we have to type in a lowercase, and as it is a command line interface, CLI means command line interface. That means we have to depend on our keyboard, and in the keyboard there are a lot of special characters there, and we can use those special character to do our activities using the Unix. Okay. Now The $1 million question is that where we can find the Unix because your machine either Apple Macintosh or your machine is Windows. Where is Unix then? So that means you need a Unix operating system to do the practice, right? So now you can easily create a virtual machine on your computer using Unix, or you can easily create an account in Microsoft Cloud or Amazon Cloud and using that Unix system for your practice purpose. So now, virtualization point of view, like it is easy. You can easily do it from your own computer. If somebody have already knowledge how to do that. So what is? Let me talk 2 minutes about virtualization. So here, let's say this is your laptop, right? This is your laptop, Windows 10, and you have, let's say you have CPU, you have memory, you have your network card, and of course you have a hard drive. These are the four major hardware we need, right? These are the four major hardware that we need to build a computer. So, and let's say you have Windows 10. So this is your operating system. Now, to create a virtual machine, what you need to download a software here, and that software will help you to create a virtual machine. So that type of software is a lot. You can download easily from internet. Oracle has a software called Oracle VirtualBox. Then VMware, another big player called VMware. This is also another company, very famous company in the real world. And then Microsoft also have something called Microsoft technology called Hyper-V. Hyper-V. This is the Microsoft technology. Okay. So now once I have that software, let's say I install Oracle VirtualBox here. So this is the VirtualBox. And now using this software, I can easily create a virtual machine here, and it is Unix. So that means Unix is running on the top of that software. So I have now two software, right, or operating system. One is my Windows, another is my Unix, right? Both I can run on the same box. So it is very easy, simple way to do it. Or another way that you can do it is from the cloud. So today I think it is better for everybody, because now, as I said, we need to be familiar more and more in the cloud. So it is easy for us to create a machine in the cloud platform. So let me show you how to do it, where it will not take too much time. So first of all, you need to create an account in Amazon. Okay. And it will be, so if you type Amazon, call AWS. A means Amazon, W means web service, AWS. So their service name is called AWS. So if you go there and go the clouds Amazon services, so you can see, yeah. So in my case, I already have my account, I guess. So here I log into my account. Yeah, and now I type my name, Nizam, I guess, digital point. So I already create an account. In your case, you have to create this account for sure. So your account, so here, let me log in first, WRBYY4. You know, they are asking something, and now I put my password. Hopefully my password I remember. Yeah. So this is the Amazon website, and you see that AWS Management Console. I'm here. So in your case, you first have to create an account. So to create an account, there is I show you somewhere there is an account. So when I create the account, one of the downside of this thing, it asking you the credit card. Without credit card, it will not allow you to create the account. But as long as you are paying, the instruction that I'm going to show you right now, as long as you follow that thing, they will not charge you any money. So like if I go to my billing section or bill section, look here, I didn't put any, so look like they charge me little money here. So probably one of the, this, so they charge me little money because of, look like I I forgot to delete something. That's the reason. So let me go. I know where it is. Yesterday I was taking a class. I forgot to delete that. What is that? S3 bucket. So I believe this is the reason they charge me money. So that's why whenever we do something, we have to delete. You see these guys, I did not. So I delete the bucket. Yeah, so delete this bucket. Let me clean it up. Because if you do not delete the bucket, what happened? They will say, okay, you have to. Okay. Yeah, so I delete those bucket. That's great. So now once we delete this bucket, I believe they will not charge me anymore. So now let's go back to the, when you log in there, so you see that they have Amazon submit to give you a lot of option here. But in your case, you don't need to worry about it. You just go to EC2 instance. So if you click the EC2 instance, and then you can see there is a, oh my goodness, oh my, I really, now I know what is happening. You see so many server, I forgot to close it. So if you forgot it, then that's the reason they are charging you money. But again, it is not a lot. You see that very small amount of money. So what are you going to do here? You have to make sure that all the server, all the thing that you turn on, you have to be turn off. So now I'm going to show you in your case what you have to do. So go to the EC2 instance, and when it comes here, you see in the left side the what is this called orange color button, launch instance. When you click the launch instance, you see they have provide you so many options like Amazon, Red Hat, Ubuntu. So let's say in our case we choose Ubuntu one. If I choose the Ubuntu here, and then now they say T2 micro, T2 micro, something like that, EBS, right? So choose the second option, and they give you one CPU, one memory, 1 gig of memory. Okay, so just the second option, free eligible, free tier eligible, the green button as you can see. Click the next, and this is their default configuration. So leave it as it is. Click next, add a storage. They give you by default 8 GB of hard drive. You can keep it as it is. Click next. Now they say tag. So tag optional. You can maybe let me take name equal to, let's say put Ubuntu. So this is my Ubuntu server. And the next, this is important, the security group. So you see that by default, SSH, port number 22, and 00. So that means anybody in the world can log in this computer, and then review and launch. And if I click launch button here, then this is very important. They say, okay, you need to download some, because it is a cloud, right? So you definitely you do not want everybody log into your system. So that's why they need to download a kind of a certificate. So you can create a new certificate and give a name. So let's say in my case, I put the name Ubuntu, right? And then download the key pair. Oops. So I think I already did Ubuntu. So let's say Ubuntu 01 and download the key pair. Oh, already exists. So, because I did download so many times. Okay, so Ubuntu 10. So remember my one is Ubuntu 10. Yeah, and then launch the instance. So when I launch the instance, you can see how long it takes now. It takes only 2 minutes to launch a machine. Okay. So this is the one of the beauty of this thing, as you can see, that we making a machine so quickly, so easily, so nicely. It is a cloud. Okay, so as long as you have an account, you can easily go there. And how I did it, look again, I show you. Go to the EC2 instance, right? And then the top launch instance, create the operating system. In this case, I choose Ubuntu. And you see there is a select button on the right side. Then you choose the second option, tier 2, family T2, T2 micro, 1 gig CPU, 1 memory, etc. Next, next. Give a name. They give you by default 8 gigabyte of hard drive. We don't need more than 8 gigabyte. Then next, create an add tag. Tag means just put something, name equal to something, and then next, right? Oops. So here I said, let's say name equal to Ubuntu, let's say 2020, for example. This is my tag. And now this is the security. This is the firewall rule. And because I need to log into that system from my laptop. To log into this system from my laptop, I need a software called SSH, and it is the port number 22. Anybody in this world can log into here, and then I review and launch. Right. So this is the very simple and easy way that we can create the EC2 instance. Okay. So now let's go back. I'm not going to create it because I already did one. So if I go to EC2 instance again, it will show you that the machine that I provision right now, it is running right now. Oops, where I EC2 instance. So you see that the Ubuntu machine that it is still running. You see, as it is running now, there is a instance ID. If you click this link, it will give you the IP address. So this is the IP address. I can copy in a notepad, open a notepad and paste it. This is the IP address I need to log into the system. So where it is running in the cloud, right? So think what we have done. So it is running in the cloud, and so in which cloud? It is running, let's say, in the AWS cloud. So over there, we're running machine here. What is the IP address? 15.2.2.2, right? So let's say this is 15.2.2.2. Something is running here. And I Nizam sitting down here somewhere in the world, right? So it can be, let's say in Canada, it can be US, it can be Bangladesh, it can be India, wherever in the world, doesn't matter. And this is internet. So from my laptop, I want to connect to this machine, right? So I first log in here, I launch the machine. Now from my laptop, this is my laptop, right? Windows 10 machine. From this laptop, I want to connect to this machine. Okay. So to connect this machine, because Unix is a SSH based secure socket layer, so I need a software on my laptop that support this SSH. So what I have to do, I have to download a software. It is free software. You can go to your best friend Google and then type there MOBA. There are so many software, but I like this one, MOBA Extram. So MOBA Extram, you see that if you click this MOBA, and you see there is a free software like a Get MOBA Extram now, right? Free. So it is, if you download, they have actually two versions. One maybe their commercial version that you have to buy, or they have a free version. So in our case, we'll buy the free version. We do not need the commercial version. Free version, download and install it. When you install it, it will create a shortcut on your desktop. So let me show you. I already did it in my machine. And this is the Mr. MOBA. Where it is? This guy, right? This is MOBA Extra. I just double click Mr. MOBA, and then it will show up like so. You see on the top there is a button called session. Click this session, SSH, and then type that remote host. So remote host is what? This guy. Copy, pasted this guy. Specify username. So as it is Ubuntu, I think by default they create the user called Ubuntu. Ubuntu. So Amazon, they create a user ID called Ubuntu. Okay, so type Ubuntu lowercase. And look here, advanced SSH setting. So click advanced SSH setting, use the private key. Remember the key that I downloaded? Without that certificate, I cannot log in. So now I click this key. There is a browse button. I click this browse button. And where I install I download in my download location, correct? This is Ubuntu 10, right? So there is a PAM file, .pam. This is the file that I downloaded, if you remember, right? I click this guy, click open, click OK. If everything is okay, I should be able to log in. Here you go. So now you can see how nicely I log into that Unix system on my home computer, but it is actually in the here. I just log into this machine now. This is the cloud machine, but this is my home machine. Using mobile, I just connect to him. So what you see right now, it is that machine now I'm controlling. There is when I first log into Unix system, let me make little bit up like a font size bigger. Where terminal. So now this is a great thing that you have learned, though it is the first class, but now you can see that now you know how to create a machine in the cloud very easily, very nicely without any headache, right? And now not only that, I also able to connect to that machine from my computer, right? And that's the beauty we have done. So now go to the view again, where it is, little bit up. Anyway, so now once you log in first in that machine, you'll see there is a dollar sign here. So this dollar sign means what? That means when I first log into Unix system, any Unix system, the first time I log into that system, if logging successful, I'll see the dollar sign. This is the prompt. This is the Unix prompt. So Unix has prompt. So just like similarly, when you log into the DOS system and you see this is the prompt, right? C :/ something, right? So this is the DOS prompt, it is the Unix prompt. So dollar sign means it is the Unix prompt. That means I have to start my typing my command from here. So Unix has two type of prompt. One, when I log in using as a regular user, like as a regular ordinary user, right? So regular user, I'll get the dollar sign. But now I need a, let's say, administrative user. I need admin privilege. So to get the admin privilege, there is another prompt called pound sign. So there are two type of prompt in Unix. One is the regular user. This is a regular prompt. That means when I log in a regular user, I'll get dollar sign. But if I log in as an administrator, I'll get this kind of an admin. In Unix case, admin we call root, RWT root. Okay. So now even in DOS, look here, if you type CMD in Windows, so don't click it. You just right click your button. You see there is something called run as administrator. You say run as. If you click run as, your computer will now, this prompt will have administrative access, right? That means you can run, some command that you will not get access denied by a message, right? So that means Unix also has two problems, regular user versus admin user. So now in this case, I log in as, regular user called Ubuntu, and I got the dollar sign. Okay. So now, as what we learned, so now we have a Unix in front of us, right? What we learned that Unix is a case-sensitive operating system. All the command we have to learn in the lower case. So your first command in Unix, clear, type clear button. Clear will clean the screen for you. Look, all the thing is gone, right? So all lowercase. So now next command pwd. When you type P means present, W means working, D means directory, present working directory. If I type pwd, the computer is telling me that you are a folder called Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is under a folder called home, and home is a root. So this slash in the beginning is called slash. So what is telling you? It is telling you when you log into the system, so in our Windows point of view, let's say this is your C drive, your hard drive. Under C drive, you have a folder called users. Under user, when you log in as Mike, you have a folder called Mike. So Mike is under users, users is under C. So when you write down in the computer, you type like this, right? C:/user/Mike. So what is telling you that Mike is a folder, his parent is user folder, and user parent is C folder. So he's the grandfather. So his children is users, and his children is Mike. So this is exactly similar in Unix. Unix, instead of C, we call it is root. Root sign is like this. So that means under root, there is a folder called home. And under home, there is a folder called Ubuntu. Because now I log in as Ubuntu, right? The username is Ubuntu. So that means Ubuntu is a folder, home folder, and it is under home folder, and home is under root. And that exactly you can see here that when I type, I'm telling Unix that, hey, show me where I am. He say, you are under Ubuntu folder. Ubuntu is under home folder is under root. You see how nice it is? So how many command you learn? Two command you learn. Now let's focus on the rest of the items. So we talk about this, we talk about this. Now the Unix command. So Unix command, all the Unix command will be the first command that we am going to show you, like ls command. Listing, ls means listing. So one of the command that if I type now here ls, look here, it doesn't show me anything. When I type ls, that means he's telling me, hey, under Ubuntu folder, I have nothing to show you. Okay, so now let's do something. So to create a folder or to create in Windows, when I say, let me show you here. When you go to the C drive in Windows, what do? I say, okay, create a folder. What do? You create a new folder button, right? Or you right click here, click new, create a folder and give a name. Let's say in this case, I call Nizam 10, for example. So I create a folder called Nizam 10, and under Nizam 10, I can create another subfolder or another file, right? This is the navigation. Meaning is what? That means in the real world, when you, I want to create something, so definitely I want to save somewhere. It's not everywhere. Think the old days, right? 30 years back when there was no computer, how a banking system works, right? If you still go to the old office, you'll see that you say, okay, I have a file. Can you please bring the file for me, my file? How they, you see that these guys are so smart, they quickly find out the file for you. Why and how? Because they organize everything. So that means if I have 1,000 customer and 1,000 customer name is there, like somebody's name is starting with A, somebody's name is start with B, somebody's name is start with C. So now I have no computer in my office. I have 1,000 customers. So I make, let's say, 100 drawers. Each drawer I keep like A and B in one drawer. All the people's name start with A and B, I keep in the first drawer. All the people's name start with C and D, I put in the second drawer. So now when, let's say now, somebody's name is called, let's say Apple, he comes. It's okay. I know now, which drawer I should open. I know that his name is Apple and his file definitely the drawer which is named as Apple, A. I'll open A drawer and I found his file is there, correct? So exactly same thing we does in computer. Because here is the, when I teach my student, I found people are not following this grammatical thing. They keep a file somewhere. After 2 months, they forgot where it is. So when I say, but real world doesn't work this way. If you get a job in IT industry, everything is organized. Everything has to be very organized so that people knows exactly where it is, right? So we need to understand the file navigation part. That means where the file, I cannot keep file A here and there. I have to keep first I create a folder and then under that folder. So how to create a folder? If I type mkdir, let's say, folder name, let's say called project one, project one, for example. You see that I create a folder called project one. So now I want to create a file under project one. But now I'm not under project one yet. I just create it. Now if I type ls, it will show me project one. Before I type ls, it doesn't show me anything. But now I say, okay, show me what is inside. In Windows, it is easy for you, right? You just double click C drive. Let's say, okay, how many folder under C drive? You just double click C, it will show you, right? And how many, what is folder under Nizam 1? You just double click Nizam 1, it shows you, right? But in Windows, in Unix, there is no mouse. You cannot use mouse here. You all are typing. So how come you know that under Ubuntu folder, how many things inside? The command is ls. When you type ls, it will show you. So now I create a folder called make directory, and you see that it shows me now project one. So now I want to go to that folder. I type cd project one. You see that cd means change directory. Look, all my command is lowercase. ls is lowercase. cd also like. So you already learned 5 commands. We type first clear command, then we type pwd command, then we type ls command, then we type make delete. So now to create a folder in Unix system, what is the command? Mkdir. To show the listing, what is the command? Ls. To go to that folder, cd project one. Now if you type pwd, look, computer is showing you this thing. Hey, you are under project one folder. Project one is under Ubuntu folder. Ubuntu is under home folder. Home folder is under root. So that means it is a computer is not a magician. If you do not tell computer where it is, computer will never tell you. Let's say now I'm looking for project one. If I say, okay, ls, hey, why project one is not showing me? Because you create project one under where? Under Ubuntu folder. So you have to type ls when you are under Ubuntu. If you are somewhere else, let's say if I go to cd dot dot, I go backward, cd dot dot. Now if you type pwd, look, it is showing you that you are under home folder. Now if I type ls here, you see that it's not showing you project one. You say, what happened? I create a project one, where it is? Yes, you are, when you type ls, you are typing under home folder. Under home folder, it contains Ubuntu. So if you want to see the project one, you have to go to Ubuntu first and then type ls. Now it will see the project one, right? So this is called navigation. When you guys do my lab, like when we teach DevOps or any other program, these are the problem you guys are struggling, right? So this is the simple navigation. If you put this is my favorite example. In your kitchen, you have a salt. You put the salt in drawer number 1. And if you have another 20 drawer, if you open those 20 drawer, did you find salt? Answer is no, because you keep it in drawer number 1. So salt is there. You have to open that drawer first. Same thing here. So computer is not nothing that it is not we are doing in our daily life. So think the very simple way that where it is, right? So this is called navigation. That's why this command is very important. Okay, so we learned about the ls command. Now talk about the creating the file. Interesting thing is that creating the file in Unix system. So very simple. It's a very simple thing, the creating a file. So create a file in Unix system. In Windows, what do you do? In Windows, you open a notepad or Microsoft Word or something, you type something, hello world, right? And what do you do after that? You click file, save as, right? Give the file name file1. Now, so normally you guys, what do you do? Many cases you click save button. You do not see on the top where it is. So now if you click save button, this file will be saved under C 2021 DevOps under this folder. So if I want to save this file here, I should say, but if I want to save some other location, then I have to navigate first. Let's say I want to save this file under backup folder. So here, then I click save. So this file, file1 will be saved to my this location or which location I want to save. So this is called location. Then I click save button. But still in Windows, it is much easy, but Unix is not that easy because it is command based. So to create a file in Unix, there are multiple options here. Option number 1, let's say I type a command called echo, 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 let's say hello world. And then I redirect this sign called, let's say file1.txt. Okay, so now file is created. What is the name of the file? File1.txt. So I type echo within the quotation, I type some my language, whatever the content, and then redirect sign. This is the redirect sign. Again, the keyboard, remember? So if you now, what is, when I, in my lecture, I say redirect. You say, what does it mean? So you look at the keyboard, you say redirect, look here, less than sign, greater than sign. So this greater than sign is called redirect. So that's why in Unix, we use those many symbol like this, right? So echo hello world redirect file1.txt. Now I want to open this file. Let's say I want to see this thing. In Windows, what do you do? In Windows, very simple. You open the file. Let's send the backup. Where is the backup file here? We create a backup location, right? And that file we save somewhere. Where it is? Here it is. And then you just double click that file, it opens, right? So it is click because double click, right click, left click because we are using mouse in Windows. But here, how to open it file? So again, there are multiple ways. One of the famous way command is called cat command. If I type cat and file name is file1.txt, look, it's a hello world, right? So now you learn how to create a file in Unix system and how to open that file to see what is inside, right? So this is one way. Is there any other way we can create the file in Unix system? Yes. There is another command, it's called touch command, touch, touch, let's say file2, file2.txt. So this is also a command. Now you see the touch, normally whenever we need to create an empty file, that type of file is called like a command is touch command. Look here, if we open now cat file2, nothing is inside because we didn't type any data here. There is no data here. Yeah, so it is just a simple file. Okay, so touch is another way to create a file. Is there any other way we can create a file? Yes, there are so many other ways. Another way that's a editor. So Unix has some editor like Notepad. Like one of the famous editor in Unix system called Vi editor. Vi. What is the editor name? Called Vi editor. One of the very famous technology, but it is little hard. So if I type Vi, let's say my file name is file3, file3.txt. If I press this thing now, Vi editor, press enter. Look, this is ugly, kind of a black window here. And if I start typing, look, nothing is typing. Okay. So Vi is a famous editor, but it is not that straightforward. So let me talk a little bit about Vi editor here. So Vi editor, Vi editor. Okay. So by default, Vi editor has two modes. One is called command mode, and then another is called text mode. Okay. Command mode versus text mode. Okay. So when in my case, what I have done, I type Vi, file name is what? File3, file3.txt. And you see that it goes a black window, something like this, right? And now by default, I'm in the command. When I inside that, it is by default, I'm in the command mode. As I am in command mode, I cannot type anything. So that means I have to convert my keyboard from command mode to text mode. I have to convert it. How? So I have to press A or I or O. Any of this key, if I press in my keyboard, it will convert my command mode to text mode. Okay, so let's do that. So now I go there, I put I. I means insert. So press I so that you can memorize I. So you see that in the bottom is the insert mode. Now I can type hello world. You see I can type one line. Right? I can type my text here now. Now I want to save my file. Right? So this is in text mode. So now to save my file, I have to again convert text. That means I have to save. Save is a command, right? But right now I'm in the text mode. So I have to again convert my keyboard from text mode to command mode. How? Press escape key. Okay. So if I press escape key, my keyboard again will convert from text mode to command mode. So press escape key here. Look, inside is gone. Now I want to save. My keyboard is in a command mode. So how to save it then? So to save and exit, I type colon WQ and press enter. So if I type colon WQ, it is means save the file plus exit. So now let's do that. So command colon WQ. Look, I'm done. I come out from the by editor. So what to do now? So let's do that again. So I create an by file4, file number 4.txt, enter. Oh, I already said, okay, let me do it. Colon by file4, right? File4. I'm creating a new file. So first step, type by, then file name, go to the by editor. What to do? Press I to convert to insert mode, type something, and when you are done, press escape to command mode, colon WQ. Done. So we have created 4 files right now under project 1. Type ls. It shows you, look here, file. Oh no, sorry. Actually, I am under Ubuntu. I create everything under Ubuntu folder. That's fine. So file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. You see, like this. So this is the Unix way to do it. It's not graphical. We do not use mouse here, right? Everything is a lowercase. Everything has to be typed lowercase, etc. So hopefully you guys practice this thing. So this slide I'm going to send you, and you guys start doing the practice whenever you have time. Before you come to the next Sunday class, please make sure everybody have this slide. Create the summary that you must have to create the machine on the Ubuntu, right? So that when you're done, let's say I'm done this thing, I close this MOVA, please yes, and then I go to my Amazon website, and if I go here, you see that my instance is still running, right? Don't forget. So here you see it is running, correct? I click Ubuntu. I highlight this box, I mean checkbox, and look on the top, instant state. Click stop instant. Don't forget it. If I type stop instance and click stop, then this will be stopped. Okay. So whenever you are not practicing, then make it stopped. Then let's say tomorrow you want to practice it again. Come here, and then when you come here, you just click the button and then click start. Give him 1 minute time, and when he start, it will, then you click this button and it will show you the IP address. You copy this IP address, go to the MOVA, and then log into that system. Okay. So guys, as this is an important thing, I'm going to show you again how to create a machine. Very quick, 2 minutes. Okay. First, I log into the Amazon Ubuntu. I mean Amazon console. Click the instance button on the left side. You see there is a services. You can say compute mode EC2 instance. And when you come here in the left side instance new, click this instance new, and then on the right side orange color, click the, there is a new in somewhere you will see the new instance, I guess. Yeah, so click this guy. Then you can see that you can choose any of the operating system, but in our case we are choosing Ubuntu. So Ubuntu server. Click the select button, right? And then when it is ready, then you choose the second option, 1 CPU, 1 gig of memory. Click next. And then this one, step number 3, configure listen. Don't touch it, leave it as it is. Click add storage. The storage will be by default 10 gigabyte, so that's fine. Next, the tag, click tag, name and capital name, and let's see, in this case Ubuntu 30. I just give it because I create a lot of Ubuntu. And then next, so the port number is, look, remember that MOVA need SSH, port number 20. So we are opening the firewall, otherwise I cannot log in. It is not in my home computer, right? It is in the cloud, and cloud say I'll not allow you to log in. So I say, hey, open this port for me, 22 port. And this is the 0.0.0. Means anybody in this world can log into this system. Okay. So then next, and then launch. When you click the launch button, they will ask you for the certificate. This is very important part. So you create the new here, create a new pair, give your Ubuntu 30. In this case, I put the new name called Ubuntu 30. Download the pair. It will be downloaded to your download location, and then launch instance. When you click the launch instance and then view the instance, you see how long it takes. It took only 2 minutes for me, right, to launch the instance. And you see this is now pending, and it will give him just 1 minute time to refresh. And there is a refresh button here. You just need to wait probably 1 minute or 2 minutes. Just wait. Yeah, here you go. So then once it is done, yeah, I think we need to wait a little bit more. Yeah, pending. Very good. Pending, again pending. Very good. Running. You see the running? Now click this instance, take this IP address, right? Copy. Now once it is copied, then go to the download the MOVA software that I mentioned. You can use Putty or you can use MOVA, but MOVA is much easy. So if I double click this guy, right, and then I click the SSH session, SSH here, my IP address is this. Then user, always remember the user ID equal to Ubuntu, lowercase. Then advanced setting, then use private key, browse. That certificate, go to your download folder. In my case, it is Ubuntu 30, right? So look, my previous certificate will not work because this one bind with my previous computer. Now the new one that I installed, this is the Ubuntu 30, and then click open and click OK. Oops, I think I did mistake something. Yeah. So once the certificate is like available, you should be able to log in. Okay. So once you log in these guys, and that's it, then you have a dollar sign. And then when but don't forget this thing. Let's say in my case, otherwise you have to pay money. Okay. So if you click this button, stop the instance, click stop. Okay. So you need a credit card. Without credit card, they will not allow you. It is the same thing in Microsoft, okay? Because they want you are a valid customer, but they will not charge you. I'm using this thing almost last 3 years, no charge at all. But as I said, like last class, probably in my previous week, I forgot to stop it. That's the reason they charge me little money. But no, mostly it doesn't. It doesn't charge you any money at all. So this is the thing. So if you, let's say now today you have a plan to practice 2 hours, turn it on, practice it, stop it. Again, tomorrow another 3 hours, open it, practice it, stop it. Don't forget to stop it. Okay. Once it is stopped, make sure all are stopped. Look here. Or when you see the all are stopped, you just close your thing. That's and tomorrow you log in again. Okay, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. This is all about the Unix. So we'll slowly we'll go more in depth, more in details. Okay. So today, at least this is the very basic fundamental Unix knowledge. But this slide is really very good one. So now, if you guys now familiar, what is the editors, what are the different type of keyboards here, and all the command that I said. So just go on. You see that all are lowercase. Look, CP command is the copy command. MB command is the move command. RM command is the remove command. I want to delete something. It is called RM, right? And then finally we'll talk the most important, the Unix files permission. So we'll talk to next class. Okay, this is one of the biggest important item that we'll talk next class on this. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. Any question from anyone?
Yes, so what if I don't have any credit? Is there any other options to pay this?
Sorry, I don't hear you.
What if I don't have any credit card? Without credit card, can we use this or any other options? Can we answer?
I'm sorry, I could not understand what you're talking.
Actually, what I heard, he said he doesn't have any credit card. So does it have any other options?
Sorry, he doesn't have credit card. Oh, okay. Doesn't have credit card. Yeah, no, if you do not have credit card, so in this case, yeah, there are a lot of other options. Yes, of course, so you have. And that scenario, that what you can do, you can create a virtual machine. So let's say on your computer, you download a software called Oracle VirtualBox. If you go to the download Oracle
I didn't this was
Box. If you type Oracle VirtualBox and then this guy, oops, I don't know why it is down. Let me try again. Yeah, so they have a Oracle website. Go to there and download the software. You will get it very easily from there. So when you download that software from Oracle website, right? Yeah, so you see that this is the Oracle VirtualBox. And as you are using Windows, download this guy in Windows installer. But again, Oracle will not allow you to download if you have to create an account with them first. Okay, look, if I click this guy, I think it will ask me to set up an account. Oh, it did allow me download. Okay, so that's fine. It look like, so this is an exe file. You click install, next. Okay, once you are done, it will create that software for you. And then next item, this is the Oracle installer, right? Oracle virtual machine, blah blah blah. Click next. Once you've done this, so step one, or download Oracle VirtualBox. Then step two, you download Ubuntu, right? Go to the download Ubuntu. So go to the Ubuntu website now and then download. Look, these are all free. This is the beauty of this thing, right? Oracle VirtualBox is free. This is also free. And then you can build a machine on your own laptop, right? So I have a document how to do that. I'm going to send you that document as well. So yeah, either way, you can go to the cloud, go there. If you do not have credit card, then you can install Unix machine on your own laptop as well. Okay?
okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question from anybody?
Yeah, just a quick question. How do we send our emails to you? Do you have access to our emails already, or do we need to send you an email?
Yeah, you guys will. I think today you guys logged into the system, right? So I believe we have your email address. As long as we have your correct information, we can send you. So today's class, as I said, it is recorded. It is.
Right.
We'll give you the recording. We'll give you the slide, this slide, right? Plus the lab, right? Everything we'll get it by email. But again, if your email, if the question is that do we have your email address? If we have, of course you will have it. So another thing is, I just tell you here, as we are offering this program to everybody so what is the goal here? The goal that to get benefit to your job, right? You get be benefited, but you have to respect the thing. For example, today's class which said 9 o'clock. A lot of people you guys join 9:30, even 10 o'clock. It is not, will not allow you like this. So whoever join like this, forget about this class. Okay. That means you are not respecting your time. You are not serious about it. So that will not help you. So don't take it otherwise, because everything has a policy and roles and responsibility, right? So it is not your choice, because we give you this opportunity, meaning is that you have to join in a correct timing. So please make sure that you join exactly 9 a.m. Eastern time. Eastern time means not like it is a North American time. In Bangladesh, India, and other place, it will be evening 7 p.m. So make sure that you join exactly that same thing. Okay, number one. Number two, that you must have to join all the class in on time. Otherwise, this is the program, this is a project, right? So if you join a project, in any project, if you come late, for example, you got a job tomorrow today, and your meeting is 9 o'clock, you join 9:30, what will happen then? You join at 10 o'clock, right? What will happen? So it is online. Don't think it is you are controlling this thing. No, will not allow you to do this thing. Okay, it is a project. The benefit of this project that yes, everybody get the benefit, right? I'm spending almost 2 hours for you here. It's not unnecessarily. My time has a very valuable time, right? So hope everybody respect this thing, and so at least 5 minutes before you should join the class from next class. So if anybody think that you are late or you cannot join every day, please don't even join this class. Okay, I'm one thing really making me very unhappy when people join late, because that is the time management. If I in my company, I'm working North America last 25 years, and one thing I have learned from this environment, what is that? Time management. My meeting is 9 o'clock. If I join 9:02, believe me, I am the last person. And I have to tell in the meeting, I'm apologize, I'm sorry, I'm late. This is the North American culture. And I'm really surprised. People sitting down in North America and people are not obeying this thing. How is possible? I have no idea. Right? So please respect your own time management thing. If you really want to get benefit of anything, it's not only this class, any matters, right? If you do not follow this thing, you will not get benefit of that matters. So please, everybody, this is my recommendation, the first recommendation, time management. So yeah, you will get everything from us. That the purpose will, because if you do not get benefit, that means it is look like to me that I'm playing 90-minute soccer. There is no score here, right? That's not the purpose. We are not playing here with anybody. It's not a playground here, right? We wanted to give you this service for your own benefit. So you will get the benefit when you obey this and respect this policy, right? That means you attend the class, you join the class on time, take it very seriously, and then do the lab, do the practice, then you will get the benefit. Otherwise, it is meaningless. Coming and going doesn't help. Okay, yeah, so I hope everybody got the answer. Everything will be, and now, as I said, it is recorded. You will get the record, everything, get it. So see you guys tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next Sunday at 9 a.m.
Just one
Just one
question.
question.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
while we practicing 1 hour, 2 hours, at that time EC2 instance are running, so they're gonna
So they're
charge
gonna
some
charge
money,
some
right?
money, right?
No, they will not charge. No,
Okay, and
Okay,
someone
and
is
someone
asking
is
in that group, like she has Kali Linux. Does she need to download Ubuntu? I think
no,
yes. Right?
no. Kali, as long as any Linux, any Unix you have, you don't need Ubuntu anymore. Yeah.
Okay, I do have Kali Linux too. Okay,
Anything
thank you.
you have, you don't need anything else. So,
Okay,
it's
thank
not necessarily Ubuntu. You can Kali, you have Ubuntu, you have Red Hat, anything you have, that's fine,
you.
right?
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Some of you, my student already have Kali machine, so they don't need another machine, right? But this is an opportunity. Look how to create an Ubuntu on a Kali machine you install on your laptop, correct? But now you learn how to create another machine in the cloud platform, right? So two different type of learning here. So nothing wrong. You create Kali machine, I mean your Ubuntu machine there, and then practice it there. And whenever you don't need, just close it. They will give you 720 hours per year free. Okay, 720 hours equal to how many days? A long time, right? So they will not charge. Definitely, you are not practicing 720 hours. Definitely, you are not turning on that many years, right? So definitely, so that's why it is very important that in a day, let's say if I practice 2 hours, 7 days, 14 hours. So if I even practice whole week of each week, each day 2 hours, so 2 hours time 14 hours, and then so now you type 720 times 14. That many weeks you can use it, right? That many hours you can use it. So yeah, it is a they are really very nice. They are not charging you any money at all. I'm using this account almost last 3 years. I never paid one single dollar till last week. But last week it is my mistake, as I said. It is I forgot. So if you forgot, then you have to pay money, right? Yeah. Okay. Any question from anybody else before I finish?
Thanks.
Okay, guys. So whoever interested, please join next class at 9 a.m. and we'll go more in details. Okay. Thank you.